1876, Somerset House is where we kept records of births, marriages and deaths, but now it's called King's College, part of London University. Here to your right, the first building with a flashing sign, and next door where the red crane is, well, that was the headquarters of a company called IBM, the computer company. Next door, the White Tower, well, that was the television tower where you got your programs on ITV. But this entire complex has now been bought by a Chinese property developer, and he's turning it into something that we really need. More luxury hotels and private apartments. On your left, the white ship, the Wellington, present to the Master Mariners as their headquarters. They've now moved to the Naval College, and that has just become a private club. Look at the stern of the ship, the red ensign is flying, and if you look behind the flag on the wall, you'll see two silver dragons, one each side of the road, and they're guarding the City of London. You have just entered what we call the Square Mile, the ancient City of London. If you look through the trees on the left, they are some of the oldest buildings in London. This is known as the Inner and the Middle Temple. This is where we train the legal profession of this country, the Inns of Court. Now here to the right you see, say, that's the oldest advert in London, but the problem we got, if you look around you, there is no advertising on this river. It's not allowed, because this is a royal highway. So they got around the law by putting coloured glass in the windows on the top floor. The building itself belongs to the Prince of Wales. So top floor is a restaurant, the middle apartments, and some very nice shops on the bottom. The next building is Sea Containers offices, and then that last building up there, the pregnant lady, that's Blackfriars Tower. Now if you want an apartment in there, they start at £1 million. They sold the penthouse for 32 million. It now belongs to a very nice Russian gentleman who can't live here at the moment. On your left, behind the building site, the white buildings, and that's now the headquarters of JP Morgan, the American bank. The last building, that lovely curved one, headquarters of a multinational company known as Unilever, or Lever Brothers. Now in front of us we've got three bridges. Blackfriars Road Bridge is the first one, opened by Queen Victoria. Look each side of the bridge supports on the left. The friars wore a black habit, hence the name Blackfriars. Look at this column on your left. Look at the top, you see carvings of swans. Look on all the pedestals. These are all the birds we have on the River Thames today. Now the second bridge, the little red columns each side, this is the remains of the first railway bridge, designed by Isambard Kingdom Brunel. It carried the first steam train out of London in 1864. The last bridge, well, it was a railway bridge, then we stuck a top on it and turned it into a station. Blackfriars is the only station in the country that can be run on solar power. There are 1,200 solar units on the roof. So if you look along the right here, this is the South Bank Walk. The building with a tall chimney, that's called Tate Modern. If you understand modern art, it's a wonderful place to go. If you don't understand modern art, I can recommend the pub on the right. If you have an hour in the pub, you'll understand everything they're talking about in the Tate Modern. Now look along the left here, you'll see lots of 52 churches while they were building St Paul's. St Paul's took 35 years to complete, and if you look on top of the dome, you'll see the people in the viewing gallery. That used to be the best view round London up there. Now you have to pay £20 each to climb 520 steps. So this is Millennium Bridge. That's what we called it when they opened it in the morning. The first upside down suspension bridge in the world. But in the afternoon it was closed. It became known as the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. So many people tried to walk across, it swayed so violently they closed it for 6 months. Now we call it the bridge that gets in the way, because if you look to the left, up St Paul's Stairs, this is the only place in London where you could take a full-length picture of that magnificent building, till some bloke stuck a bridge in the way. Now over here on the right, just before that big old tree there, it was all burnt to the ground. This is William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre on the right, the only timber-framed, thatch-roof building allowed in London since the Great Fire. If you look on the right, you can see the black iron gates, one of them's open. Each lump of metal on that gate is a character from a Shakespearean play. William Shakespeare put on 17 first nights in the playhouse. But look ahead of us at the old Shard up there. Look at the top right corner, that's the viewing gallery. And look how busy it is. The reason it's not busy is because it's too expensive. Why would you pay £40 each to go up there when all the towers on the left hand side are completely free of charge? So this is Southwark Bridge, known as the least used bridge in London, as you can see. So if you see anyone walking across, give them a little wave. They could be lost. They're probably tourists, but they're lost anyway. Now when we go through this bridge, have a look on the left, there's a barge over there, they're loading. And if you count the containers on the top of the barge, there is another stack underneath. So that barge can carry 20 containers. One tug can tow 6 barges. So that's one diesel engine on the river or 120 lorries on the road going nowhere. And this is how we take away London's rubbish, over 20,000 tonnes a day. Here to your right is a lovely little pub, the old, and the last one we sold it as a jigsaw puzzle. Most of it is in Lake Havasu in Arizona, and this new London Bridge opened 1973. The black boxes you see on our bridges, this is all new digital floodlighting we've got along the river. So as we go under this old bridge, have a look to the left, in between the first 2 buildings, and that's the Church of St Magnus. If you go in that church, you'll see models of old London bridges, because that's where you paid your toll to walk across. But look on the left there now, the tallest candle in the world, called the Monument, commemorating the fire of London. But look above us on the left, look at the walkie-talkie tower. See how busy they are up there? So the reason they're busy is because it's free. If you can't get in there, go to the Horizon Tower behind it, a very tall building. Now the blue glass monster on your left, this is one of the many private banks we have in London where people like to hide their money. And the lovely little yellow building next door, that was the oldest fish market in England, called Billingsgate. Next door to that, behind the trees, we have the Custom House, our main customs office. But over here on the right, every building radar scanner on the top. She was on the convoys to Russia, the Normandy landings, and in the Korean War. Now outside, for the first time ever, we've got an Indian warship. It's the first time I've ever seen one in London. Didn't even know they had one. But these are the modern day ships. If you look at the side of these ships, it looks like you could push your finger through the side. The Belfast, her hull, is 30 inches of steel. See, years ago, they built ships to stop missiles. Now they're designed to have missiles go straight through. But there you are. They look a happy bunch, don't they? Now, over on the left-hand side, we have the tower. Look above the tree on the river. These lower bascules in the centre, they would lift 20 times a day. Now we're lucky if it's 20 times a month. But when they were raised up, we used to walk over the top. Well, they glassed in the top so they could charge you. So look up there today, you'll see the city badge. So that means you are now leaving the city. So on our little journey today, you've just beaten all the traffic through central London. All thanks to Mr. Khan. Now look up there now underneath that city badge and you'll see glass pavements. So we have people up there waiting to take your picture. That's why we've come over this archway, in case there's anyone on here who's with someone they shouldn't be with. Even the favourite ones, and also